Hey, what's up, you? Okay, I'm not gonna do that. Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to Just Random Stuff, 1971. It's been a few years. I think the last time I had a public upload was in 2021, and every single time I film a video, I have no idea if it's gonna go up. Because everybody films a bunch of footage, only to just never post it. But uh, today I decided I wanted to, talk about my vinyl collection. I was mostly inspired to do this by Anthony Fantano, because in 2012 or 2011 he still does it now, but he started a series where he showed every single one of his vinyls that he had, and I love music. I think because when I was so young, when I was mostly active on this channel, that was before I really got into music, but I love music. It's one of my main passions. It's like the main things that makes me happy. I love music so much. I love collecting music. I love talking about music, researching it, writing music, and I love music, and talking about it makes me happy. So I have a lot of vinyl. They're separated into 3 separate little cabinets. I have this one, that one, and this one over here. And maybe over the course of a series of videos, I can go through them all. It should be cool. It should be really cool. And also, side note, today, or maybe it was yesterday, but in the current news now is Black Midi. I've broken up. Black Midi, UK, experimental rock, progressive rock, just hard rock band in general, art rock. They've broken up, which sucks. I mean, I was not emotionally attached to the music enough to be really upset about it, but it sucks because they were an amazing band, and I'm so happy that I got to see them live in LA, where I live, in November. Yeah, I'm actually so unbelievably fortunate that I saw them. I was listening to their first album, Schlagenheim, for the first time, which I have here. I'll show it later, but I was listening to it for the first time, and I went to their Instagram out of curiosity and saw that they had this show in LA, and I was like, I cannot miss this. I missed out on seeing Black Country New Road. I think they played right before I became a really big fan of theirs in LA, and I was disappointed about that. And Black Midi, I was like, I'm not missing this show, and the show was amazing. I mean, they played almost their entire discography over 3 hours. It was insane. It was the most perfect show I could have gotten from them. Okay, but yeah, let's get started. So I have it all in alphabetical order, but I guess now I just want to go over some that I bought recently. I had a trip in Rome, not just in Rome, but it was in Italy, and I went to a record store in Rome, got some stuff. So firstly, I have this Tim Maya album from 1973. So Tim Maya, I actually haven't listened to this, but I was in the store. I know, but he was a pioneer of Brazilian music. So I haven't listened to this, but I saw it. It was the first vinyl you could see in one of the sections, right? And I was like, this looks kind of cool. So I just decided to get it, and I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm excited to. Don't know much about Tim Maya, but I'm assuming this is cool. Yeah. Okay, me from 6 months in the future editing. So obviously I've listened to the album Tim Maya 1973 in that time, and it's incredible. I'm so happy that I picked that out because it, opened me up to this whole new wave of music that I knew nothing about. Tim Maya is incredible. That is such a dynamic album. The songs that are in Portuguese, the songs that are in English are all incredible. It was really cool how I played a Tim Maya song at school as part of, it was the Latin American week. I think it was, so I played a bunch of different songs that were in Spanish and Brazilian and Portuguese songs too, because, Brazil is part of Latin America. And there was only one person there who recognized, I think it was Ru Confesso. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, but she was like, oh my God, who's playing Tim Maya? I was playing Tim Maya, and I was like, I feel so cool for knowing Tim Maya, at least at my school. So yeah, that was awesome. I'm really happy that I just randomly picked that album out in Rome. Next one that I have is Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures. I mean, this is an amazing album. One of the best cover arts of all time. This is an original pressing, I'm pretty sure. We have this little picture inside. Yeah. Love Joy Division. You know, incredible, influential band that is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Them in New Order, you know. It's fucking crazy. I mean, I feel like they're so, like, just well known in general. Like, they're not like an underground indie band, you know. Like, I feel like if you like music, if you know, if you are listening to like 70s and 80s rock, you know, I feel like you know Joy Division. I feel like they're such like a popular band, and New Order too, which was, you know, huge. Yeah, this is the vinyl. Pretty nice. Yeah, but I mean, this is an incredible record. Everybody, you know, all the members of the band are incredible. The bassist is really good. I play bass, and I'm so sorry that I don't remember his name. Hold on, what the fuck is his name? Okay, well, Alexa, who is Joy Division's bassist?
Peter Hook is the bassist of the English post-punk band Joy Division,
Peter Hook,
alongside Ian Curtis on vocals, Bernard Sumner on guitar, and Stephen Morris on drums. By the way, you have a new note.
Alexa, stop. Okay, well, that was nice of her. Thank you very much, Alexa. Yeah, Joy Division, incredible band. Ian Curtis, R.I.P. So sad that he died. Yeah, now I have Buena Vista Social Club. I bought this in where did I buy this? I think I bought this in Oxford, England, actually. Obviously also incredible album. You know, it's like a Cuban music revival. It came out in the 90s, late 90s, but it legit could have come out in any decade, the 60s, 70s, 80s, whenever. I mean, this album's timeless. I mean, it's awesome. You know, I haven't listened to it in a while, but I was like, why should I not have this? This album is sick. You know, it's awesome. I mean, there's so many amazing songs, incredible musicianship, amazing cover art too. Love this album. Next we have Whatever People Say. Yeah, That's What I'm Not. Wait a minute, that's the correct title, right? Yeah, Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not by Arctic Monkeys, debut album from 2006. Amazing album. I think Arctic Monkeys are a great band, and the stuff on AM from 2013 is fine, and that's mostly what everybody knows. But like this album's amazing. Like it's so good. It's just like banger after banger after banger after banger. Like it's so good. I love this album. Domino Records. Haven't opened it yet, but I definitely will soon. I love this album. So many good songs in there. View from the Afternoon, Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, Fake Days in San Francisco, Riot Van, Marty Bum, Red Light Indicates Doors There, Secured. Yeah, love this album. Next we have Big Star. Where did I get this? I think I also got this in Italy. I don't remember where I got it, but great record, #1 record. That's what the album's called. Big Star, super underrated band for the 70s. It's funny, I first discovered them 4 years ago from this Disney movie Stargirl, with Grace VanderWaal, and she shows the male, it's like a Manic Pixie Dream Come movie, and she shows the male love interest, this album, or that she has on vinyl, and the song 13 specifically. I love that song. It's definitely my favorite song here, and I love this album. I think Big Star still does not have the proper recognition that I think they deserve, in terms of what they did for power pop music, and new wave. They weren't a new wave band, but I think they would definitely influence what was to become new wave, like about like a decade or a little under a decade down the line, because this came out in 72. But yeah, this is an incredible album. But Big Star, so underrated. Everybody, if you like, listen to Big Star, listen to this album.
So at the time of filming that video, I hadn't opened the vinyl yet and listened to it. But that is truly one of the worst pressings for an album I've ever heard. It was a new copy, and I'm not sure where I got it from, but it sounds horrible. It's on like a purple and a gold disc, and it looks really cool, but the sound is awful. And I mean, you get you buy a record in any form, physical or digital, for the sound of it, and I absolutely just it totally ruined it for me. But I still love that album, and you should check it out. But maybe at some point down the line I'll sell that one and get a more authentic original pressing. But I'm not really sure. I don't really care that much.
Here we have Linda Ronstadt. Has hastened down the wind. Honestly, I don't know anything about this. This was one of those on my birthday. This was just like a cheap find that I was like, you know what, sure. And I like the cover art. I think she looks hot here. So honestly, I mean, but yeah, I'll definitely put this on at some point soon. But I do like Linda Ronstadt. She's a great singer. I don't know much about her, but she's cool. Yeah. So. And then I have MGMT, Oracular Spectacular, amazing album. I think this album is incredible. From 2007. Yeah, I mean, there's so many good songs in here. I love this album. One of the best indie albums, indie rock albums, indie pop albums. And I'm pretty sure Caroline Polachek is on the back here. I'm not sure who. Yeah, I love this album. Kids, Electric Feel, Time to Pretend, Weekend Wars, Pieces of What, of Moons, Birds, and Monsters. This is an incredible album. Yeah. If you haven't listened to this in full, listen to MGMT, Oracular Spectacular. Is this even what this album is called? Or am I going insane? No, I gotta look it up. Show yourself, take only what you need from. Okay, it is called Oracular Spectacular. I don't even know if I'm gonna leave that in, but that is what the album's called. I looked it up on my computer. Yeah, okay. Amazing album. Check it out. Okay, so now we're moving on to here. All the new albums that I haven't listened to, I keep in this shelf right here. Yeah. So that's why they're not in this alphabetical series right here. Okay, but starting here. The first one I have here is the Alan Parsons Project, Eye in the Sky. I actually haven't listened to this. A lot of these are from my dad and my grandfather's old collection. I've listened to a few songs though, namely Eye in the Sky, a title track, Serious, which are great songs. Alan Parsons Project, I don't know much about them, but I do know Alan Parsons. He was a recording engineer for the Beatles and Pink Floyd. And I love the song, I Wouldn't Want to Be Like You. I'll definitely have to listen to this soon, though, because alphabetically, it's the first one I have. I'm like, I feel bad for the first one I talk about here I've not listened to. But, it's really fucking tight in here. Okay, next one I have is, I have two here. Allman Brothers Band, Out of Wild South, great album. This doesn't sound that good on the vinyl, but this is an incredible album. R.I.P. Dickie Betts. He recently died. Great album. Southern rock, roots rock, kind of like jam rock too. In Memory of Elizabeth Reed is an amazing song. Midnight Rider is an amazing song. Yeah, Duane Allman, man, fucking crazy guitarist. And then we have Brothers and Sisters. I think this was the one that they made not right after, but this is their first full studio album without Duane. But I haven't listened to it yet. But we have it. I think my grandfather, who passed away a long time ago, was a big fan of the Allman Brothers Band. They're one of those bands that I actually got into from listening to the vinyls that we had, because I dug through them all, and I decided to put this on a whim, and Out of Wild South, and they're an amazing band. Duane Allman, man, what a fucking crazy guitarist. Seriously, he's insane, honestly. My former guitar teacher, he for whatever reason, he told me that he got access to Duane Allman's guitar for whatever reason, and he just played on it for 3 days. Yeah, What do I have here? Okay, here we go. I have a good one next. Amy Winehouse, Back to Black. Amazing album. Amy Winehouse was taken too soon. So many bangers on this. I mean, it's like, Rehab, I'm No Good, Me and Mr. Jones, Back to Black, Love is a Losing Game, Tear Dries Up on Their Own. Yeah, I mean, Amy Winehouse, man. And this is like I'm pretty sure this is the US cover. The UK cover is her like sitting on a bench. I think this one's better. Yeah, I mean, she's definitely somebody who I think like as soon as she's eligible, she'll get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because I think she's kind of been not martyred. I don't want to say that, but like she's a legend. I mean, she was so influential in like her relatively short musical career. I mean, yeah, R.I.P. Amy. Love her. Okay, what do I have next? Shit. Yeah, we got the Animals. Honestly, I'm not a huge Animals guy. I love House of the Rising Sun, but like I'm not a big Animals fan. They're talented, but it's like, I have the best of the Animals and the Animals animalism. I've listened to this one. I haven't listened to this yet. I don't know. I just feel like they kind of they don't have a lot of original songs. Their arrangements were good, but I just feel like they're not a particularly interesting band from that era of the 60s, And there's a lot of those bands that I'll be coming up on. I just feel like the Animals were just not like my type of music. I just feel like, why should I listen to their covers of like blues songs and shit when I can just listen to the original songs that are better? So, but the Animals are fine. They're a fine band. Nothing against them. Yeah. But like, I don't want to get rid of these because, Next we have music from Big Pink and The Last Waltz by The Band. This is a different cover than the one that's on streaming, this sounds a little, last time I heard this, it sounded a little rough, but maybe, I think it's because I had a shitty record player at the time. But yeah, this is an amazing album. Absolutely one of the best from the 60s. Great cover art. A lot of, if an album has a good, the process of buying an album, definitely, if it has a good cover art, I think it definitely will increase my chance of whether or not I want to get it. But this is an amazing album, The Band. So good. I mean, there's The Wait, obviously, which everyone knows, but also Tears of Rage, To Kingdom Come, We Can Talk, I Shall Be Released. Yeah, I love this album. The inside packaging is so cool, too. Yeah, The Band, man. Robbie Robertson, Levin Helm, Rick Danko, Garth Hudson, Richard Manuel, Jamie. Okay, yeah. Robbie Robertson, Rick Danko, Richard Manuel, Garth Hudson, and Levin Helm. I feel like, yeah, I love The Band. And then also The Last Waltz, too. Which I haven't listened to in full, which I know I need to, because like it was a legendary thing and it has a ton of guest stars. Like, I think Ringo's on here, Bob Dylan's on here, Muddy Waters, damn, that's actually insane. Yeah, The Band. Great band. What do I have next? Shit, some of these are so fucking damaged. Okay, what do I have next? What's that? Beach Boys. I love the Beach Boys. I don't have Pet Sounds though. I have Wild Honey. So many of these albums I have not listened to yet. It's like I put them on my list to listen to, but it's just like the Beach Boys, I barely scratched the surface of, honestly. I know Pet Sounds, obviously. Surf's Up is a good album. I listened to the Beach Boys Today, which is a good album. But yeah, Wild Honey. I heard that this one was good. And then I also have the Beach Boys in concert, which is interesting. Because I think around the 70s, the Beach Boys actually started to, like, become more of a band. There was always, like, I remember my grandparents telling me how it was, like, there was somewhat of competition, in America at least, like, there was somewhat of a competition on like who was better, the Beatles, the Beach Boys, and I mean that's so dumb because obviously it's the Beatles, but like I think I would say it's the Beatles because like, they were an actual band. I mean, they played all of the core instruments by themselves. The Beach Boys, they were more of a vocal group than I think like a full-on band, you know, because there were so many session musicians. You know, it was Brian Wilson and a bunch of session musicians in the 60s at least, and they made incredible music. But like, I just think the Beatles give band a lot more than the Beach Boys did. But you know, still absolutely legendary. You know, I'm not gonna understate their influence. Next, I have Paul's Boutique, the Beastie Boys. This is an amazing cover, and this is an amazing album. I mean, Beastie Boys, one of the best rock bands / hip hop groups ever. And this packaging is so cool too. It's like an entire panorama of a street in New York. Not sure which borough, but ooh. Yeah, this is insane. On the front, yeah, on the you probably can't see. On the front side, and on the outside, and on the inside. Yeah, I have to stand for this. I mean, this is so cool. It takes up a lot of space in my box though, because it's like, you know, so big. And then the record. I haven't listened to this this vinyl in a long time, but the record's in here. This image. This actually fits on one disc. That's crazy. Does it? Wow. Because this is kind of a long album, I feel. Or it's not. I don't fucking know. I'm dumb. But there's much shorter albums that artists feel the need to like spread over 2 discs, which is kind of annoying. But also, I mean, I guess you know, it makes it sound better or something by having less groove or shit. I don't know. I'm not a fucking scientist. I just like listening to music. But you know what? It's okay. All you need to do is just look it up on Wikipedia and we'll understand. Okay, now here we go. I think after this, after these set of records, I'll leave it for now. But here we got my Beatles collection. So the first one I have is I got this for Christmas in like 2020, and I only listened to it recently. But it's this LP called. It was released by Capitol. It's the Beatles story. It's like an audio documentary about the early history of the Beatles. I think this came out in like 1964. So it's like how they started as a band up until like the Hard Day's Night movie and album. And it's really interesting because it's like, you know, it feels so clean cut. Like there's so much from that era that they just do not talk about here because it would be, you know, inappropriate. I mean, they don't talk about how much they were using drugs and smoking weed and all that shit, you know, hooking up with fans and having threesomes. Like they don't talk about any of that. It just feels so clean cut. I mean, pre-Yoko, pre-Brian Epstein dying, so much shit. Yeah, interesting record, that's to say the least. That's the earliest one I have. I don't have any of their really early stuff, which kind of sucks, but I mean, I'll get around to it. So here then we have Rubber Soul. This is a new copy. I bought this in Syracuse, New York. I remember that. And I mean, it kind of like, it sounds okay, but it's like, I'd prefer to have a newer copy, but you know, Rubber Soul, great album. And then we have a US copy. No. Where the fuck is it? Okay, I found it. It was right here. I'm dumb. Okay, but I have this Yesterday and Today LP. And this had the notorious Butcher cover with the raw meat and severed doll heads, and this was that, you know, they got rid of that after like a day, and this was the one they replaced it with. And this one also is kind of scary. They're just like, they have dead expressions. It looks like AI. I mean, I don't know. Obviously that didn't exist back then. But this is basically just like a Revolver, Rubber Soul, Help compilation. The Revolver LP which I also have. This is a U.S. version of Revolver. This excludes I'm Only Sleeping, Dr. Robert, and Andrew Birch Can Sing. And I cannot believe this isn't an I'm Only Sleeping on it. Like, that's the best one of the best fucking songs on this album. And this, I decided to get this because it makes up, because, you know, it has the 3 songs that weren't on here. And some other, you know, great songs. Least favorite song in here is Act Naturally. I think that's one of my least favorite Beatles songs in general. Most of their covers, besides Twist and Shout, I just don't care for. You know, it's kind of just like, why listen to the Beatles version? You can just listen to the usually superior originals. But I mean, the Beatles are my favorite band of all time. I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but I mean, if you look behind me, you can see Abbey Road poster. Revolver. I have this framed, a picture of Revolver. But yeah, I love the Beatles. My favorite band of all time, hands down. This isn't mono. It doesn't sound very good, which kind of sucks. I think Revolver's like one of the least consistently mixed Beatles albums. Like all their early albums up until Help sound fine, like on digital. You know, they are what they are. Then Revolver, there's the 2009 remastered version, which sounds fine just by itself, but when you put on headphones, it sounds like complete garbage. There's like the singing on one side, the instrumentals on the other side. And then there was the 2022 remaster, and I feel like it just sounded so different that it was just polarizing. Like, some songs sounded a lot better, some songs sounded a lot worse. So Revolver, and there's just not a definitive version of it. I mean, even this, it's like, there's 3 songs from the actual album that aren't on here, on this U.S. Capitol release, just the Parlophone one. So, yeah, but, you know, it's cool to have. My grandparents got it for me. I think it was their copy of Revolver that they decided to give to me. So, yeah. Okay, next we have an original of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. This still sounds great, at least from the last time I heard it, which has been a while. You know, here's the back with all the lyrics on it, and the Paul facing back with all the other facing forward, which, you know, means that he's dead, apparently. I mean, this was the first album by the Beatles to, like, be the same across the world, and not, like, have different variations of shit. Here's the inside, the 4 boys, Ringo, John, Paul, and George. And it's a little beat up, but I mean, it's because it's just been, we've had it since, you know, 1967 or whatever. I mean, the disc is not in bad condition. I mean, there's a few scratches, but overall, this still sounds great. Yeah. Love this album. I mean, it probably used to be my favorite Beatles album, but now it's either Abbey Road or the White Album. It's probably Abbey Road, but it's like, there's just not one, you know, Beatles album that I can just pick as my favorite. You know, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It feels so hard. Magical Mystery Tour, too. EP in the UK, LP in the US. I mean, this is also one of those, like, you know, fake Capitol Records albums, but it's become part of their, you know, official catalog, because, I mean, it's goated. There's the EP, which has, you know, Magical Mystery Tour, Fool in the Hill, Flying, Blue Jay Way, You Really Should Know, and I'm the Walrus, or just You Really Should Know. And then there's the singles, I'm the Walrus, Hello Goodbye, Strawberry Fields Forever, Penny Lane, Baby You're a Rich Man, All You Need Is Love. I mean, this is a great album, but I wouldn't put it, like, up near, like, the Beatles' upper tier of later releases, because I just feel like it's inconsistent. It doesn't feel like a full, proper album, because it's not, you know. But, I mean, individually, though, the songs are still amazing, and, you know, Strawberry Fields Forever is one of the greatest songs ever made. I love that song. I mean, I love the fucking Beatles. Okay, next we have the White Album. So this is a 78 pressing. I found this in a record store. I prefer to have a 68, but, you know, I just found it, and I was like, you know what? Cool. I should just get it. You know, it's still, you know, the album. Obviously double LP. We have pictures of Paul, Ringo, and the men, John and George, all in one. Now, I think the 68 one has 4 individual photos, but I'm not sure. And yeah. Inside, more pictures, and then we have the track listing in Times New Roman. I didn't even know that was a thing in 1968. I think it may have been a thing for a long time, but you know, who knows. Okay, and then of course, Abbey Road. This is one of my favorite albums of all time, but I mean, like, it took me so long to find a, you know, OG 1969 pressing, and I mean, this sounds pretty good. You know, I think it only cost like $38, and most of the 69 Abbey Road pressings go for a lot more money, and I think it sounds good for what it's worth. You know, I mean, I don't necessarily care about every single vinyl sounding equally as amazing or as really good, but I just feel like if I find a better / more expensive copy, I'll get it and then sell this one somewhere else, because it's people will definitely buy this. But I just think, like, this is still a great recording. I think Abbey Road is just one of those albums that's so well produced that it's like you really do gloss over some of the, you know, damages to the sound, because the album is so good, you know, that it's like you kind of just ignore the fact that the record doesn't sound amazing. But you know, it still sounds pretty good. There's only some scratches. I just think, like, I could definitely prefer to have like a cleaner sound. But I mean, this still sounds great for what it's worth, and the album is just so good. I never see, when in all the, like, you know, greatest albums of all time lists, it's always like in the top 5, but it's never number 1. I'm just like, just make it number 1. Like, even like the album cover, like, that's one of the most iconic, you know, images in music or just in popular culture ever. Like, they should just make it number 1. And then Let It Be. This is a French pressing that I got in Paris. You know, Let It Be, their final released album from 1970. You know, not an amazing album, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's not an amazing album experience, but like individually there's a lot of incredible songs. Like Tuba, Stick a Pony, Across the Universe, Let It Be, of course, I've Got a Feeling, One After 909, Long and Winding Road, Get Back. Yeah, I mean, great cover art too. And then I have like a lot of Beatles solo stuff. Oh shit, I almost put it in the wrong thing. Oh my god, I'm gonna damage this by pushing it in. Okay, so then I have these 2 John Lennon albums. I have the Plastic Ono Band live piece in Toronto in 1969. And I think it was this show that in Toronto, was it Toronto? Yeah. It was this show in Toronto that John played, you know, separately without the Beatles, that made him realize, like, okay, the Beatles are just not for me anymore. And I think it was on that flight home that he came to that decision to leave the group, which broke up the band, essentially. You know, when he said he wanted a divorce. And the first side is amazing. You know, he plays He plays 2 original songs, 1 Beatles, I guess, cover, Your Blues, and it's so cool that there's a live performance of that song. And Cold Turkey, which I think was one of his first solo singles, and then Blue Suede Shoes, Money, Dizzy Miss Lizzy. And Give Peace a Chance, how can I forget? So there's 3 original songs here, and then 3 covers, and it's great. And then the second side is just Yoko shit, and I like it. I don't want to dog on Yoko. I feel like, no, she's not great, but she gets dogged on way too much, and there's a lot of misogyny there and shit. But I can't listen to the second side of this album. I think most people that bought this album just listened to the first side, flipped it over, listened to maybe a minute of it, and then just turned it off. So yeah. Okay, the next we got John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band. So this album's called John Lennon / Plastic Ono Band, but it doesn't really have the band on it. just called that. This is an amazing album. I mean, honestly, probably one of my favorite albums of all time. Definitely my favorite Beatles solo album. Not that I've listened to many Beatles solo stuff in general, but this album is incredible and tragic. I mean, it's heartbreaking. This is the back. I mean, this is just so sad. Like, truly, it's so sad. Like, I don't even have any words to say about it. It's heartbreaking. Like, Mother, Isolation, Well, God, especially. I love this album. If you haven't listened to this, give it a shot. I mean, I say this for all the albums that I've been very passionate about as I've been talking about them. But this album is incredible. Plastic Ono Band, 1970, Apple Records. Yeah. And then, so yeah, after the Beatles, I just have all their solo stuff lined up next to each other. Because, it's like, I mean, I may as well just put them next to, And then I have this John Lennon solo compilation from the 80s. And I think this came out after he died, if I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So, yeah, that's cool. I found this when I was looking through my dad and grandfather's records that we have. This is one of those. The last two albums I bought. The last two Plastic Ono Band albums. And then we have McCartney, the first McCartney from 1970. This is not one of my favorite albums. But it's cool that it's a Japanese pressing that my mom got for me for my birthday. Definitely not one of my favorite albums in general. I'd probably give it like a 6. But, I mean, it has Maybe I'm Amazed. And there's a really underrated one here. Mama Miss America. Yeah, super underrated instrumental. But I do like that I have this, and a cool packaging too. Yeah, all the album covers so far that I've looked at have so far been great. Yeah, that's the only McCartney album that I have. I should probably get some more Paul stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, and then I have George Harrison, Living in the Material World. I have not listened to this in full. This is one of those that I just found. And I definitely should, because I know this is one of George's better albums, apparently. I love All Things Must Pass, but I don't have it on vinyl. But yeah, I should listen to this. And then I have this Bill Withers album that my mom got for me too. Adjustments. This is a great album. I probably like, this is called Still Bill a little better, but this is a great album. Bill Withers, I mean, is a legend. I mean, and such an incredible singer and songwriter, and it's when it comes to like the sphere of R&B in the 70s and in the 80s too, he's amazing. Bill Withers, like, truly. Like, I think it's amazing that he really became famous like in his 30s. I think it's cool that he was able to do that, because most people that become famous are either very young, and there's a lot of people that are kind of insecure about like, oh, what if I'm too old to do this and do that. Bill Withers defied those expectations completely, And then we have Billie Eilish and Don't Smile at Me, and When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? My mom got this for me. 3 albums in a row that my mom got for me. But yeah, this is the EP. Great EP. Red vinyl. This was the only red and yellow vinyl. I have not listened to this in a while. But it's really cool. Yeah. And then When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? I bought this at Barnes and Noble. An incredible album. I mean, I love Billie Eilish. I love most of her stuff. Her last 2 albums, Happier Than Ever and Hit Me Hard and Soft, definitely aren't as good as this album, but I think she's an amazing artist, an amazing songwriter. Her brother's an amazing producer and songwriter. Yeah, I love this album. I love it. It's incredible. Okay, next we have after these two, I'm gonna end it. We have my Black Country New Road collection. Black Country New Road. What the fuck was that? Okay, BCNR, one of my favorite bands of all time. We have For the First Time, Ants from Up There, and Live at Bush Hall. Yeah. I've never talked about them on this channel, obviously. I've never even talked about the Beatles on this channel, but I mean, if you haven't heard of Black Country New Road, do yourself a favor, because they're one of the best new bands ever. I mean, I love this band more than words I can say. Every single member is so talented. Isaac Wood, Georgia Ellery, Tyler Hyde, Lewis Evans, Luke Mark, Trelly Wayne, and Nate Kershaw. You know, I mean, they're all incredible. Like, I think Isaac's such an amazing lyricist and vocalist in his own right, and songwriter, and then Tyler is such a great bassist and songwriter and singer, and Lewis is an amazing saxophonist, and Luke is a great guitarist, and May is an incredible keyboardist and pianist and singer, and Georgia is such an amazing violinist and singer, and then Charlie is a great drummer. I mean, they're all so good. They're all such incredible songwriters. I love Black Country Road, and of course, Ants from Up There. You know, I'd say like one of the best albums ever, but I'm not gonna say like it's in the top 100 albums of all time. Like, I'm not like a rate your music nerd. But this album is phenomenal. I mean, it's like, I really hope they get more recognition and more popularity, because they deserve it. I mean, they're so amazing. It's like, if Radiohead can be one of the biggest bands of all time with the type of music that they make, Black Country New Road absolutely deserves to be too. Live at Bush Hall. This by far is the best packaging out of the three. Like, here you see a lot of pictures of the band, and they're all, you know, super pretty. Like, all 6 of them. 7, if you include Isaac still. Yeah. I love Black Country Road. If you have not listened to them, check them the fuck out, because they're awesome. I love doing this. This is so much fun. This is way more fun than I expected. Maybe I can like live stream at some point too. Not that anybody would watch it, but this is so much fun. This is great. Why can't I get this the fuck in? Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's put these away. And then this one kind of hurts. I mentioned them earlier, but oh god, Black Midi. So yeah, I have Schlagenheim and Cavalcade. This I actually bought at their show at the Wiltern in LA. This came out on my birthday in 2019, June 21st. That's my birthday, and this is an amazing album. I mean, I don't really have much to say about it. It's just incredible, you know. I'm sad they broke up. That just sucks. There was all these rumors about it, and I was like, oh, that's bullshit, but they turned out to be true. So, and then Cavalcade, I got this in San Clemente. Yeah. R.I.P. Black Midi. They were such an amazing band. I mean, it's like also one of those bands that I wish was able to get more recognition in the time that they were around, because they were so they were so unlike, you know, what most other bands or musicians were doing in popular music. So yeah. So I think for now I'm gonna wrap it up. I'll be back at it at some point. You know, school is starting, which complicates my ability to do things that I like in my free time. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I have a lot more records to go through, and a lot more to get too, because I am not at all done with my record collecting journey. I mean, you know, like Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest, he has like tens of thousands of records, I'm pretty sure. There's this little video where he talks about it, where he's being interviewed by the news. But this has been so much fun. I love music. Yeah, there's a lot of great ones coming up here. But yeah, subscribe if you want to see more. I mean, I'll make them anyway because I want to, but it's nice to be back at it. So yeah, I'll see you guys.